Hey, it's Dr. Cree. Hey, it's Dr. Cree, and welcome to this edition of the Dr. Cree and Me Show. Come on in, let's get to talking. It's all the buzz right now. We're going to talk about COVID-19 and kids going back to school. I know that that's like a touchy subject at this point. So I wanted to come and give you a few points from the healthcare side so that we can talk about where to go and how to make a good decision. Hey Montez, thank y'all for joining me today. Make sure to let me know where you're watching this from. Make sure to tag a friend. Make sure to share it so that we can start thinking about some things. Anyway, I'm Dr. Cree. I'm your board certified family medicine physician. I specialize in helping everyday, overwhelmed, overworked, super afraid of life kind of people to learn more and more about healthcare issues. Right now, that issue that's present is COVID-19. And we're going to talk about that at length, ad nauseum, because when you know better, you do better. Hey, Roz, I miss you too. Hey, Yetta. So first and foremost, in Alabama, most of you guys know that I'm in Alabama. They're having a big discussion today. The state superintendent and all of them, they're talking about what to do about schools. I saw in Atlanta that a lot of the schools are deciding to do virtual for the first 9 weeks, or virtual from first 3 weeks, or virtual for the first semester. I want to give you this disclaimer. My parents are educators. My mom's a principal at the Francis Marion High School in Marion, Alabama. And she's been in education as long as I can remember, right? So as long as I can remember, my mom, she taught. She was in elementary. When I was in elementary, she was teaching there. When I went to middle school, my dad, who's an educator as well, he teaches physical education. I went to middle school with him. So education is so important to us, and to make sure that we're doing the right things by the kids. Well, by the time I made it to high school, my mom was then teaching health and science and PE at the high school. So I, guys, went to school with my parents. Literally, I've never ridden a school bus to school. So when Zoe got ready to go to school, and she was so adamant about riding a bus to school, I had no idea. So my husband, who was from the city, said it was okay for her to ride the bus. So she was a 6-year-old getting her little self on that bus, and I was petrified because we've ridden the bus forever. So now in the advent of COVID-19, all of that changes. So first and foremost, I hope you guys are praying, seeking wisdom and godly advice on what decisions to make, because it's a huge decision. I have a couple of things that I want you guys to consider. Number one, talk to your children's pediatrician. So even if they're older and your kid doesn't go to the pediatrician as often as they did when they were smaller, I recommend talking to the pediatrician. Hey Press, hey Michelle, talk to the pediatrician, get some insight to say, hey, you know my kid, you know my kid's history. Do you think that it's a good idea to make the decision of going back to in class? A lot of states like Alabama, they're doing in person. So we have in Trustful, we have the option of doing in-person classes, with the option of taking a break and going to virtual. If things get bad, we can do that. They have these options that you can go and mix and mingle if you go live. Then you can do 100% online academy, or you can do hybrid, where you have online and then you have some in person. So I've been getting a lot of questions about, one, Dr. Cree, what are you going to do? Our kid is high risk. We have our Zoe's born with 1 kidney, so we are probably going to do option number C. C for us, because that keeps her close to us. We can't afford to not be able to, I can't afford to not help take care of y'all, okay? So I need her to be healthy, so that we're not trying to help to figure out how to take care of her. So hey, Miss Roxy. So anyway, talk to your kid's pediatrician. The pediatrician knows your children most of the time. They know that the risk factors, and it's okay to be afraid, guys. This is a huge decision. A huge decision. A lot of people are trying to decide between work. In Alabama, the unemployment, they were given $600 extra for unemployment. That is going to run out at the end of July. So a lot of people will be forced to go back to work. That had not been working, that's been out for 14 weeks or more on their unemployment, and may have been making more on unemployment than they were making at their job. So talk to your kids' doctor. So a lot of people are juggling, like, it's between working or staying at home with your kids. We have single mothers, we have single fathers, we have kids that live with grandparents. We have all these blended families, especially in the African American community, that you have to think about more than just your child and your child's situation. If they get sick, what are they bringing back home? So number one, thank you, Montez. Talk to your kids' doctor. Number two, remember the risk factors. So asthma, a lot of kids in the South have asthma. Asthma is a risk factor. If you were one of those parents that said, "Oh, we don't keep a inhaler at school. We don't do any of those things," I would suggest making sure that you have your kids see the pediatrician before school gets started. And then that way you can say, "Can you just give me an inhaler to have at school? Can you just give me an inhaler to have at home?" Johnny never uses the inhaler, but it's there. So I want you to use a proactive approach. Hey, right there. Use a proactive approach in this kind of thing. So make sure that you see a pediatrician. Know your kids' risk factors. Do they have asthma? If they're a little overweight and they have borderline high blood pressure, or for real have high blood pressure, then your kid is at risk. If they're overweight, they're obese, then that makes them at risk as well. So for those of you that got big kids and your kids rarely goes to the doctor, go ahead on a call, because we have about a month here in Alabama. Get in and see the pediatrician. You may have to be a new patient because you haven't been there for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, but get in and see them. So number one, we're going to talk to your kid's doctor. Make that appointment. Number two, remember the risk factors. Asthma is a big risk. High blood pressure, if they are overweight. Some kids in the South have diabetes as well. They have similar risk factors as grown people. So number three, something that I think that everybody should be right now is, what's the plan if your kid gets sick? So who's going to stay at home with them? If they have to go to school, what's the quarantine protocol? And if they're quarantined at home and you've been exposed, you're going to have to stay at home with them. So talk to your job and see what your job says. Hey, say school is about to get started. Sally's going to be in school. Kids are just a bucket of germs walking around. What is our policy if I have to quarantine? Will I get paid if I don't come to work? Will I not get paid if I don't come to work? Do you do FMLA? Hey, Portia. Do you do FMLA? Have these conversations with your boss, with your HR staff before school starts, because you need a plan for what if you have to quarantine? What if your child has to quarantine? What does that mean? If you live in an apartment, you got a 3-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom. Technically, if you're quarantining, you should be quarantining to your own bathroom. You should be quarantining to your own bathroom. So what if you don't have an option? There have been I've seen people quarantine to hotels, but what if you don't have the funds to do that? So let's start to be wise in our dealings and wise in our money, and saying, let's put up in case a rainy day happens. And meaning that a rainy day would be if you got to stop working because your kid is sick and they 10 years old and probably shouldn't stay at home by themselves. Hey, Michael Wilson. So first things first, talk to your kid's doctor. Even if that's calling, if that's calling in and saying, hey, I need some insight. What do you think? I'm sure the pediatricians are going to have a ready-made work, document or something that their staff will be able to say, well, this is what the doctor is recommending. Next, remember your kid has risk factors just like adults do. Do they have asthma? Do they have high blood pressure? Are they diabetic? Are they overweight? Next, have a plan for you if you get sick. Have a plan for your child if you get sick. Are they going to quarantine and everybody's got to stay at home? Or if the first time sign of somebody getting sick, do you go and stay with somebody and leave them with, do you leave them with your parents? Or it's hard. These are all hard decisions that we have to make. We were concerned that somebody very close to us was feeling bad. We thought he may have had COVID. So we were trying to come up with this plan. Luckily and thankfully, all the tests came back negative, but we were trying to plan on how do we help you figure out how to quarantine. And a lot of times, guys, 5 days into it, and then all of a sudden you starting to have symptoms, and the symptoms have probably been there mildly, but not enough for you to pick up. You've exposed everybody in your house. So somebody said being a teacher and having a child in kindergarten is difficult. Yes, it's a very hard decision. Like I don't want my kid to be behind in school, but I don't want her to go get sick and die or cause half of us to die because we were hasty. So it's a rock you between a rock and a hard place. Next, ask questions. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Call the school until you can't call anymore. If you're wondering if your kid can wear masks, what if masks are optional? I've seen that in several school systems. Masks are optional. So call the school system and say, what if my kid wears a mask every day? Somebody gonna tell them to take it off? What parts of the day can the kid not wear the mask? What are you doing for lunches? Are they gonna be 6 feet? Are we gonna have a ruler, carry on around a ruler to make sure that kindergartners and first graders stay 6 feet apart? I mean, like, and on and on and on. Like, if whatever questions that come to mind, ask them. There are no stupid questions. There are no, I mean, you probably asking questions that maybe some school systems have not even thought about. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may not have even thought about, well, oh, that's a good question. Well, you know, so making sure that you are your child's advocate, that's huge. A lot of this stuff, they are coming up as they go. There is no blueprint on this. There is no direct plan to say, hey, the doctor said do this and this should keep us covered. No, you have to be safe. So number one, take your kids to the doctor. Get your doctor's input. Remember, your kids have risk factors, just like just like adults. Asthma, high blood pressure, you know, overweight, diabetes. Have a plan in case you have to quarantine, in case your kids have to quarantine. If you're negative and your kids are positive, what's going to be the plan if you're a single parent? Like, start thinking outside of the box, because you have to be prepared, because it can happen just that quick. Or what if somebody in the class is positive and the whole class has to quarantine? I got all these questions. How often should you test for COVID? Mike Wilson, that's a good question. So currently, you should only be testing if you're exposed to it or if you have symptoms. You shouldn't just be like, oh, I thought about it today and I just want to see if I got it. Don't go and do that. Testing is still pretty limited in a lot of states. Save those tests for people that have symptoms. So remember, symptoms like temperatures over 100 and 100.5, new cough, new shortness of breath. If you have asthma and it's normal for you to cough, you don't have to run and get tested every week. Losing your sense of smell, losing your taste, GI, like diffuse watery diarrhea, body aches, and you may not have a fever. You may only have 1 or 2 of those things. If something's different about you, go get tested. Ask questions. Like I said, ask questions to the school system, ask questions to the superintendent, ask questions to the principal, ask questions to the teachers, ask questions to anyone. Somebody says it's really rough for parents or families with special needs kids. They don't want to wear that mask. If you have kids with autism, that is just a distraction for them. That's something that's irritating to them. That's something foreign. So making sure that you have their therapists all set their therapists up, and work through that with your kids' therapists, whether they be occupational therapists, whether that be mental therapists. Have that where you are your kid's advocate. And next, buy supplies. School isn't here. Make sure you got a good working thermometer at home. Make sure you have a pulse oximetry, because if the person starts to get sick, you can get one. They're $1. Not $1. That you can get one. They take a couple of batteries. They probably are going to be expensive, guys, because everything is hiked up. You know, it's $20 for a bottle of Lysol, right? So expect to pay a little bit of money. Making sure that you have enough masks if you're doing disposable masks. Making sure that you not just keep giving people ibuprofen around the house. I would just kind of lay out that if you could during this season, because of course that can affect your quick response to COVID. Let's see what else questions we have. Can you test positive? Yes, you can test positive to COVID with no temp. You got to remember that you can be an asymptomatic person. You have no symptoms at all. I had a family that I took care of. The husband was sick, had all kinds of symptoms: shortness of breath, fatigue, body aches, this and that, you name it. The son had no symptoms, and the wife had a little bit of fatigue. Neither the son nor the wife had any temperatures. So yes, if you've been exposed, go get checked. So buy your supplies. Like I said, your thermometer, your pulse ox, not just giving out ibuprofen. Yes, Michelle, that's what I just said. Yes, you can test positive with no temperature. It is its own beast, guys. So if you don't feel right, go get tested. If someone has been exposed around you, even if you don't feel like you was that close to them, and they call and say, hey, dude, I was at your house last week and I tested positive, go get tested. And then start your kids on daily vitamins. They can take a Flintstone vitamin. They can, take a little vitamin C tablet. Start your kids on, start these healthy things on your children at a young age so that it's not strange. Zoe takes some vitamin D every day. She takes some melatonin. These are just things that just won't hurt her at all. Taking that can help. So starting them off their vitamins and taking care of your health is actually a good thing. And lastly, normalize wearing your mask, right? We're going to review that. So the mask, you see how that's folded like that? That's how I see a lot of people wearing them upside down. Wear your mask. If you have glasses, put the mask. You see where I wear my mask all day long, and it doesn't fall my glasses. But you see how the rim is located just under the bridge of my glasses. Now, if it was like this, I'd be breathing and getting all that air and everything into my glasses, so it was starting to fog up. So this is a mask. Wear it. Make sure the wire. Make sure you see how I'm talking, guys. I don't have to do like this. My lipstick gonna mess up. I don't have to do like this so you can hear me. You can hear me just fine. And I don't have my hands up here. So for your kids, normalize wearing a mask. Some of y'all children have left the house since March. We're honest, some of the kids have not left the house since March. So you expect my child who's been in the house for, hey, Miss Brassfield, who's been in the house for 3 months to be like, yep, we going back out. And you expect me to wear this? So start taking them to little places or in-house sitting around. If you still don't want them to go out, put the mask on. Because if your school gives you an option, so the white side goes to your mouth. Yes, Well, that depends on this one, because you see my lipstick all there. Yes. And then you'll see how it goes on the outside. Let me see where my camera is. You see where it attaches? So you will have the side opposite of the attachment to you. What did you say? You heard me, Mike Wilson. Anyway, so some things. Is it safe for kids to wear the mask? Yes. Think about surgeons, April. When you in surgery, you gotta have your heart transplant or something done. You not only is that surgeon in a mask all day long, they draped in sterile field. I have my mask on all day long. Very few times I come out here and I wear a mask, and I wear let me show y'all mine. I wear a hat too though, cause my hair can be it. And then I wear a face shield with a hat on. My hair not like this. But anyway, I wear a face shield all day long. And that's even with me wearing glasses. So if you got a kid and you worried about them doing like this, buy them some little face shields. You can get them off Amazon. And that way, if they feel like they have to pull down the top, they still got some kind of barrier. They still have some barrier. They still can breathe. But yes, they can wear it all day long. Now, granted, they're going to take it off to eat, to have their snacks. How y'all going to... I got me messing my hair up. Anyway. So that's my get up is you can wear it, but it's conditioning yourself to wear the mask. So yeah, start telling them to put it on. They're gonna have to wear that mask during school. If your school allows the option, some schools aren't giving the option. Some schools are saying you gotta wear it. So is it safe to have the face shield on a kid without a mask? I would say both is better, because at some point the child gonna get tired of something. And if they have to pull the mask down, you still have the face shield. And they kids, they're going to be up under there saying, let me touch you. Let me just, in each other's space. Thank you, honey. She's I'm still cute. But anyway, so kids are kids. They still going to be doing stuff. They still going to be into everything. Normalize washing your hands for 20 seconds. Normalize saying that you got your hand sanitized. And don't give your hand sanitizer to anybody. Keep your hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is hard to come by. These are things that start talking to kids. You got about a month. You got about 4 to 6 weeks. Start talking to your kids. Start coming up with a plan. So anyway, in short, let's review. Talk to your kid's doctor. Talk about the risk factors. Review yourself and say, man, even though my kid hadn't had an asthma attack in 3 years, they still can have an asthma attack. Make sure you have the inhaler on file at school and have one at home that you can find. Because sometimes I hear a lot of people say they woke up out of their sleep and felt this tightness on their chest. They were waking out of their sleep and they were short of breath. So if that's the case, you want to be able to have your puffer right there and just puff. So remember the risk factors. Have your supplies. That being pulse oximetry, your medicine on hand, your thermometer. Have a plan. What happens if you get sick? What happens if the kid gets sick? What's our quarantine plan? Ask questions that's to your school, that's to your doctor, that's to anybody that'll listen, that could very well know the answer to give you the peace of mind that you can have. 8 hours is a long time to be without not looking at your kid, and you've been looking at them nonstop for 3 months. And I know my child, I want to hug everybody. I love hugging and touching and just being with people. She's gonna, as soon as you let her out your eyesight, she's gonna be around somebody's neck. Because they're kids, they're human, you know, they're little extroverts, you know, they're little introverts. But even an introverted child is ready to see their friends. So ask questions, buy the right supplies, keep them at home. Daily vitamins for your kids. Start them on a Flintstone vitamin, you know, so they have something. And normalize wearing the mask. It is okay for a long time. Oh, Phyllis said, I work with K4. I feel as though it's very difficult to keep the mask on all day and use social distancing. Yes, it's going to be hard. I mean, but just think, y'all, in China, the people been wearing masks for years. Look like every time we see a picture of the Chinese people, they're in masks because they had the swine flu and they had the, you know, this flu, bird flu, whatever. They had all these flus, and it's a mandate that they have smog, and that's not good for them. So they are in a mask all of the time. And if we don't sit ourselves down and social distance and not just be doing too much, then we're going to be just like them. This is going to be our new normal. I like to see ladies' lipstick and say, "Ooh, girl, you wearing it." And not all of my lipstick is in the inside of this because I still have to put it on. Hey, Mr. Bobby. So anyway, guys, I know it's a very, very, very hard decision to make. I didn't come on here to tell you the decision to make. I want you to know your child. No one knows the child like the parent. Talk to the doctor. Be safe. Teach your children about what's going on. Don't give them anxiety from it. Don't scare them or whatever, but make sure that your kid knows what's going on. Corona is out there. Corona is not good. We gotta wash our hands. Just basic things that you can educate your kids and be okay that they say, hey, they kind of know that. Because my kid is like, well, when this go away, when we go to the hotel and when this is over and I can get to do this and do that, and it's like, she got goals. I'm sure your child does too. Anyway, it's been great. I'm Dr. Cree. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician in Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm so thankful that you spent the time with me to learn more about healthcare issues that are plaguing us every day, that being COVID-19. I feel like when you know better, you do better. So I'm excited to share what I know so that you can do better. So that we're wise, we raise wise kids. We make good decisions that we are comfortable with, that we feel safe with. Anyway, follow me. I have a YouTube channel. Follow my YouTube. I only got 22 YouTube people. My name on YouTube is Dr. Cree. Spell Dr. out. That's DOCTORKRE. Hey, Georgina, I miss you. That's Dr. Cree on YouTube. Follow me there. You can catch all these videos there, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all. I love y'all.